Appreciate this, Jacoby. Last night when I was watching this game, you know what I decided? I decided that I love basketball. Like, serious. Like, I love basketball. Our OG director, Tommy, said it. This was like old school ABA. And you know, I took a lot of heat like 10 years ago as the bitter veteran that played for Mike D'Antoni when I came out in like 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It was like I never heard the man say the word defense. I took a lot of heat for that. People thought that I was just bitter and hating because I got DNPs. I was telling the truth. You know how I approach this. And while the Nets are amazing to watch offensively, and they were playing without James Harden, and Kyrie's taking his liberties offensively and being aggressive, be a terrific scorer, and so is KD. When you don't have bulk up front and you can't contain the dribble, the point guard and the center are the pillars of your defense and your offense. If you can't contain Colin Sexton's dribble, if you can't contain Russell Westbrook's dribble, I don't care how talented you are. The other team is always confident when they're scoring. How many times you been playing basketball, Jacoby? As soon as somebody make a shot, they look at their teammates like, let's go, let's go. It's because when they score, you feel better about yourself. And you could be playing against Washington. You could be playing against anybody. As long as the other team getting buckets, they're going to be in the game. And so that's something that I know for a fact. 3, 2, 1. As these cords are on my feet and I'm barefoot right now on the show.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Let me tell you something.
Put those away. Put those away.
I love basketball. Hey, look, I love basketball. So it reminded me that I want to play. I want to play some basketball, dog. I'm getting ready. I'm coming back, dog.
Why don't you have socks on? Why don't you have socks on? What is happening? There's a blizzard outside.
I took them off.
What is happening?
I took them off.
Whatever you do, put your shoes back on.
I'm coming back.
Put your shoes back on.
I'm gonna come back. And what it showed me, that you ready for this? I could play for the Nets. I was like, I could play for the Nets. You saw Joe Harris at the end of the game with that inbounds pass? I could have did that.
Yes, you could have done that.
Been me.
Everything else that Joe Harris did yesterday, you could not do. But you could have done that.
Oh, like that, Reg?
I love the fact that you just took your feet out on national television and you said that you could play for the Nets. You could play defense for the Nets. I'll tell you that. You can play defense for the Nets because I've seen you play, okay? Not exactly a stopper. Jalen, someone who is playing in the NBA very well, someone I used to affectionately call the stretch mark 5. I can do that no longer because Nikola Jokic has slimmed down and he gave the Jazz some buckets. 47 points, only missed 9 field goals all game long, 12 rebounds, and ended an 11-game win streak for the Jazz. Jalen, can we just celebrate my man Nikola Jokic? Can we just celebrate him, please?
Let's do that. And let me tell you what made me feel a little emotional yesterday.
What happened?
When my guy, the Joker, was balling, I looked down at my phone. I had so many people that were calling to give me a shout because my guy was doing work. They're like, I know you see your guy. Like, Jacoby, I've said this to you. It shouldn't be fair to have a crush on a player that I cover. That's what I have with the Joker. The thing is, it's all skill and intellect and real estate. When you play Monopoly, you want Boardwalk and Park Place and you want to put all of the hotels on it. That man right there, that's Mediterranean. That's Baltic. You don't even see him coming. And every time you go around, you got to pay the Joker. Look at him. Look at him, Jacoby. That's Rudy Gobert. That's the defensive player of the year, one-on-one on the post. Runners, floaters, threes, dimes, playing them one-on-one. It don't matter. I'm going to tell you guys this. the Joker is a lot closer to winning MVP this season than people realize. So I'm going to just say that into a microphone. As the season continues to progress and you realize, like, wait a minute, he ranks where in points, where in rebounds, where in assists, where in steals, and the Nuggets record is what? Remember what I told you. At the end of the year, people going to want to say LeBron. They're going to want to say KD. We're going to want to give it up to Luka. But it's like, man, the Joker is that business. So it was great to see my guy put in work.
Well, you know LeBron wants that MVP trophy, and he is no longer the number one team in the Western Conference. And he saw those numbers from Jokic. He was like, oh, man. He's like, oh, man. He's like, oh, man. I'm going to have to put up 40 again. It is time for some very important news that matters. Jalen, you know TMZ is
more shots than us. They had 25 points off our turnovers. And they made timely shots, you know. You got to give them credit. They played extremely desperate all night, you know, physical, trying to get in the passing lane, just trying to muck the game up. They needed a win. They haven't won in a while, so you got to give them credit. And tough loss for us.
What's the key to bouncing back after a game like this? We were just talking to Joe, and he was talking about his mistake, down the stretch. You've been a part of a lot of, wild games. What's the key to blocking this one out and moving on?
Dispose of it and, enjoy your off day tomorrow. Take your mind off the game and get ready for the next one. We all know what went wrong, and we know how we could have won this basketball game. And he's one of the ones you just got to get rid of.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Kevin, when you look at the roster since the trade, you lost a lot of size and defensive prowess in that. Is that something that has to be addressed down the line? Or, Steve has also said the offense is so good it's going to make up for the defense some nights. And maybe it didn't happen tonight, but, the offense is awesome right now. And so can that make up for the defense or the lack of size?
I think defensively we're going to start to figure it out. I mean, they made shots tonight. They got to the paint. And we, for the most part, I just think that, we made them shoot over top of us sometimes. They made some tough ones too. But, I think we'll continue to keep getting better, man. I mean, it's a tough one. We gave up 149 points, 108 shots for them. It's not looking great for us defensively, giving up that many points. But I got faith in our team and our guys, and, we're going to start to put it together on both sides of the ball and, continue to keep growing, man. That's all we can do.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Kevin, just so I understand, you said, it's obvious you guys know why you lost, what you need to do to fix this. And then you said it's just one-on-ones. Is that basically you're saying just guarding your man individually, staying in front of your man, or I just wanted to make sure I understood what you meant by that?
I said one-on-ones?
Maybe I misheard you. That's what I'm asking. I want to make sure.
Yeah, just be better. That's it. We'll be better on the defensive side of the ball. We can go through the film, but we just got to be better. It starts with one-on-one defense. Like you said, it's you versus your man. So, we look at it with that, and then we'll get help if we need it on the back end. That's the type of defense that that's a good start for your defense. Just thinking about it from a one-on-one perspective, but we'll be better at it.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Kevin, I know all-around defense is something we continue to talk about, but is there something specifically about your defensive efforts down the stretch that you think needs to change versus just talking about overall macro defense in the game? Yeah,
Russ and Bill came down and hit 2 threes on us, tough threes. That one that Bill shot, that deep three. Haji Moore got a 3 late. For the most part, I think that when we need a stop, we'll get it. But we turned the ball over there late, and they got a wide open look. That's just the name of the game all game. Giving them easy shots at the basket from just turnovers or offensive rebounds. Stuff like that.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Kevin, can you break down, I guess, A, what was supposed to happen on that inbounds pass? It was looking like the ball was going to go to you, ends up going to TLC anyway. B, can you break down what the defense did to kind of get the ball not going to you? And do you think you would have been comfortable shooting over a double team in that situation anyway?
Yeah, I mean, if Russ was sitting on the top side, and if Kyrie lobbed that up, then Bradley Beal was just sitting there waiting on it. And then they had another guy sitting in the paint. So, I mean, we got a wide open layup late in the game because everybody was so focused on me right there at the box. Coach drew up a good play, and we was able to get somebody creeping for a layup. We just didn't finish it. But, yeah, the ball was supposed to come to me for sure. But you see how they reacted, and we was able to get something good. We just didn't finish.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, you guys built that 18-point lead up in the first quarter, and then by the end of it, they had chipped away at it almost completely. Was there something specifically you guys got away from that led them to do that, or was it a domino effect?
Man, that bench came in and made shots for him. Mo Wagner was 7 for 8 from the field. Ish Smith was 6 for 9. Then, you got Bertans. He didn't shoot shots well tonight, but he still gave him points off the bench. You know what I'm saying? And, I think when that second unit came in, they gave him an extra spark. But we had the game under control. I felt the whole night and to the end.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
8 assists. Let's hear from him post-game with the media and Michael Grady.
Hey, Kyrie, when you have a game with great scores on both sides, you expect a high scoring affair. That said, though, when you look at the defense, what would you attribute, some of those issues to that you'd like to correct?
I mean, it seems like every game we play, we're battling. Just some things that the game flow can sometimes bring you, whether it be some calls going your way, whether it be some high scoring quarters. They scored 48 in the fourth quarter. I don't know if we're going to get many wins if we allow 48 points in any quarter. So, it's a tough night when you're giving up that many points, and it's a tough night when you're not particularly doing the little things that could create some separation, down the stretch. We had that game. It should have been ours. So, we just look at ourselves in the mirror and just see where we can correct as individuals and as a group, just especially on the effort. I couldn't guard a stick today. Those guys were just going right around me, and, I was getting frustrated a little bit, but they kept attacking, and that's what good teams do and good scorers do. So.
If you could take us in the locker room, what's the communication like amongst teammates when, again, there are struggles defensively, some miscues down the stretch? There's a lot of veterans in that locker room. What's the communication like as you refocus?
Well, number one is just reminding Joe Harris and TLC that stuff happens, and it's not their fault. That was just a microcosm of what the game was like tonight. We had the lead. We were pretty comfortable. And then down the stretch, we just still got to be hungry until it's zeros on the clock. And as you saw, Washington was very desperate. And we expected them to play well tonight. Anytime the team goes up against us, we expect them to start hitting things that, you got to give respect, but at the same time, it's going against a good Brooklyn Nets team. So we just take this one on the chin and keep it moving.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Kyrie, 72 points in the paint that you guys gave up. You're undersized a little bit. You lost a lot of size in the trade. Do you think that that's a persistent issue that needs to be addressed somewhere going down the line in this season?
We'll see. Like I said, we have the group that we have in our locker room right now. I'm grateful to be playing every day with them. And, though we'll allow the outsiders to say we're undersized, we believe that we should be, winning every single game based upon our effort and based on, our offensive firepower. So, obviously the eye test, we're not necessarily passing it in terms of having all the big guys in the league. But like I said, we just got to match other teams' effort. And we've been doing that lately, and, successful road trip. And now we get back home and play against a good Clippers team.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Kyrie. I mean, you kind of alluded to it, but I mean, obviously when you're up 18 at any point and 5 with 12 seconds left, you would think you would win that game. But do you think that kind of thought process crept in earlier than it should have? Like maybe you guys had it in your brain, okay, we've got this salted away.
Well, I can't speak for everybody in the group, particularly what they're thinking. But I could say that, down the stretch, that's where we really really got to make our mark, and we usually do. And tonight, like I said, stuff happens, and we got to take this one on the chin. It's no one's fault. If anything, we individually take our own efforts where we can be better, and then we move forward.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Kyrie, are you, one, how are you assessing that last sequence, Bradley Beal hitting the three, the inbound pass steal, and then that three from Russell Westbrook? And then secondly, are you looking at that as the culprit of this loss, or was it more of a we shouldn't have been in that position, and you're kind of looking at the breakdowns before that?
Yeah, like I said, it was a microcosm of the night, and I would never put blame on anybody. Not one person can take one play that could dictate the game. We were up by 5, and we lost the game, and that's okay. Like I said, stuff happens, but we cannot continue to make a habit out of late game situations and not being, aware of the execution we need down the stretch. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one to bite on the chin because we definitely, like you said, we definitely had the lead down the stretch, and we want to finish that strong, but it's okay.
Thank you.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Kyrie, can you break down that last inbound play from your perspective when you have KD, you got TLC, and can you just describe or go through what your decision-making process was on that?
Well, they doubled on KD from the baseline side and the top side, and I was just trying to use my eyes and